So what I'd like to do is perhaps begin by just welcoming all of you and having you introduce yourself. And because this is being recorded for those who can't be here, I'd really like to ask if, as you introduce yourself, you could come over here and just sort of sit between me and the monitor so that you will also be able to be recorded. So, Doug, would you begin, please? And perhaps as you are introducing yourself, if you could say a little something either about your past history on the pilgrimage or what excites you about this opportunity now to make this pilgrimage. So, Doug, you're on first. You are the trend setter, as it were.
Good afternoon. My name is Doug Dombeck, and I am just completing the RCIA program and will be baptized on Holy Saturday.
Wow.
And leaving on Sunday to join the trip, and I am so very excited. I have been to Turkey before, but I have never been from Christian heritage point of view, so I am so excited about joining this trip, and what a graduation from the RCIA program, and I'm really looking forward to being with all of you.
Now, there is a magic word to describe Doug's experience here on the pilgrimage in particular. And that magic word is mystagogia.
Mystagogia.
Mystagogia. Actually, that is a key and essential part of the Christian initiation program. And it often, nobody knows what to do with mystagogia, much less perhaps how to pronounce it. But it is the time after you have been initiated in the fullness of the Christian mysteries through baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist that you reflect upon and allow now the experience of the mysteries to teach you. Mystagogia, the word comes from being taught by the mysteries. It's been my conviction that this pilgrimage experience is a perfect mystagogical experience to conclude the journey of the catechumenate, that one who is coming, taking the steps. The catechumenate really is, it's not a set of classes. I keep trying to get that across to Sister. It's not a set of classes with a bunch of coming in on Sunday morning and then being sent out at the middle of Mass. The catechumenate is really an apprenticeship towards living the Christian life. Before having made the final commitment and the final immersion into the mystery of Christ's life, which is signified by the three sacraments of initiation. So, in this final part of the journey, there are some special ceremonies, as you know, that are part of the Lent is really sort of like a retreat for the catechumens, with special emphasis on purification and enlightenment. And then with the Easter mysteries of baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist, then comes the time of letting the mysteries teach you, of being immersed continually in the life of the fullness of the church, not just as an apprentice now, but as a full participant. Now, what better way to do that than to immerse yourself in our Christian history and heritage? What better way to do that than to have this community of 10 other people with you to be experiencing and sharing with you their own experience at the same time of this life of our heritage. So I am so glad that you joined us, Doug, at the last minute, because you really are a fulfillment of one of the ideas that I have had for the past 6 or 7 years. And I'm hoping in the future, because of this, to be able to promote this more among the Christian initiation professionals as a really, really good option for the mystagogia, for those who may be able to. And we have to realize that there is a commitment of time and a commitment of money that not everybody is able to do. But for somebody who has walked the journey of initiation, walked the catechumenate with a catechumenal community for a year or more, they're going to be in touch with the rest of those who are back here. So, in a sense, bringing them along virtually. So we're going to have a virtual mystagogia for everybody else here through Doug. Right, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Sorry to take up so much time. But Ruth, could you join us, please?
Okay, I'm Ruth Ortega.
Oh, over here.
Over there. Oh,
We need to see you.
Oh, dear.
Everybody else needs to see you.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Okay, I
Okay,
know.
down here.
Down
Okay,
here.
yes. So
Okay.
that- okay.
I'm Ruth Ortega.
Sit down.
Oh, you want me to sit?
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Now we can see you.
Now everybody can see you.
Everybody can see me. Okay, fine. Am I on screen? I don't
Yes,
think
you are.
Oh, no wonder.
Yes.
I can understand that. I'm Ruth Ortega, and I'm a pilgrim from 2011. And Alma was on the same group with me as well. Now, I can't tell you a lot about my life because we don't have that much time. I don't have, well, anyway, it would take too long. But my trip to Turkey was my 4th trip. I had been there before with my husband, who we stayed 3 weeks, but just did sort of surrounding Istanbul. And the second time we went, we just were going through, but we had to stop in Istanbul. The third time, and I thought there must be some attraction, and I had thought of going to Israel. But after reading the bulletin 2 or 3 times, I changed my mind. So I became a pilgrim. And it was a great experience. It was something that I'll never forget. And I liked it so much that I took my daughter there this year. And we spent a whole week in Turkey doing a fast touring, and took her to Cappadocia. And we got to live almost like Turkish people in certain areas, and it was lovely.
You even stayed in a cave dwelling.
In a cave dwelling, it was
in
absolutely
Cappadocia.
fantastic. And we also had the Quran in a corner, but that was all right.
Mhm.
It was beautiful. We brought flowers and put them there. And we had wine. And nice little niblets served to us every night. Fireplace. And it was snowing when we got there. It was snowing quite a bit. This was in March, April, something like that. And so anyway, that was it. We returned back to Istanbul, but we took our cruise and continued doing the Turkish islands and so on. But anyway, it was a fantastic trip, and I truly recommend it. You're all going to have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome.
Catherine. In the hot seat.
I'm Catherine Caron. I was on the pilgrimage last year. It's not a trip. It's not a pilgrimage. It's a total experience of your body and your soul. Be prepared for something that you have never really dreamt you could be part of. It's a totally immersing experience that lasts, because we're back now, and we're just as close as we were when we were riding the bus and attending Mass far and far away, thousands of miles away from here. Father is, I don't know how much you know about him, but he's a really great cook. Did you know that? He takes a country.
You didn't cook for us.
He takes a country and he studies it real well. Then he takes the Bible that he knows practically inside out. Then he takes the right people. He has the right guide. And many, many times he has the right weather. And with the help of the Spirit, he stirs it all together and comes up with a product that is unparalleled. You are in for a great experience, and I envy you. I just wish I could be part of this pilgrimage this year.
Thank you, Kevin.
Wow.
And Maria, would you please join us? And as I was mentioning earlier, Anne has been on the pilgrimage twice,
Oh.
and Maria 3 times, way back in the old days.
In the old years.
Thank you, Anne.
I went in 2006 and 2007. I went the second time because I could not absorb all that, or really digest all that I had experienced on the first trip. And there were many things that I wanted to see again. I certainly did not regret either trip. It was a very rich and rewarding experience, and Aiden the guide is one in a million. I have done other traveling, but I have never had a guide that stimulated me to think about things and who provided wonderful background. It was an experience that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Anne.
Hello, I'm Maria Rodriguez, and I was on the pilgrimage in 2006, 2007, and 2008. And I almost was that close to being on the retreat, on Father's first retreat that I know of for the group of pilgrims
For
this
this
year. But it didn't happen. Hopefully next year, I hope. But anyways, the pilgrimage, for me, I had never been on a pilgrimage before. And for me, when I heard of Turkey a long time ago, it was like just another foreign word in some part of the world, and that was it as far as my thoughts about Turkey. And I'd never been on a pilgrimage, and then this one captivated my whole being from the first time I read about it in the bulletin. And I got a hold of Father to see, since I wasn't of the parish, I didn't know if it was open to others. So anyways, I got a hold of Father, and from there things worked out to where, yes, I was able to go on the pilgrimage to a part of the world that I never knew anything more other than seeing this foreign-looking word on the paper. Foreign as far as the country. Of course, I related it to the animal, but that's nothing close to the country. But the pilgrimage is amazing. For me, going 3 times over. Every time it was like that much more of a layer of understanding, that much more of a layer of being able to absorb, that much more of a layer of being able to experience it. The first time it was like, oh my goodness, was it overwhelming. Lots of foreign words that I could not captivate, foreign names, and it's like, what, who, where, huh? You know, and it was just, but it nonetheless captivated me to where I wanted to go back. And in the meantime, being able to have been enriched with further studies, further learning, further experiences, further prayer, just seeing just the value of what Father Tom is doing, and really reaching out and making this opportunity available for not just, it's not a travel experience, it's a pilgrimage. It's amazing, the whole total experience, and that's great that you are experiencing it as a new convert and coming along this, and that's great, Father, and extending that experience to others. But just amazing, just amazing. And I then, our tour guide before, and I don't, will he be there this
He
year?
won't
also?
be, unfortunately, Iden had to pull out. You know, Iden, I think, has, there was a time when he was going into kind of a second career as an instructor and promoter for the carpet cooperative. And then I think he just kind of got travel fever again, because he was only doing a couple of pilgrimages, or a couple of trips a year for a couple of years. And now he is back to full-time freelance guiding. But because we were really slow at getting our full numbers, and even went into the beginning of 2013 not being fully sure that we would be able to go, he had to make other commitments. So Ersan, the owner of the tour agency, Orion Tour in Istanbul, has assured us that we will have a good compatible guide. And I'm actually kind of looking forward, hopefully, to have a guide that I can work with in a way that I can share with him something of the experience that I've received over these last 6 years with Iden. So it is kind of a new game that we are going to have, and we probably will not hear the expression chop chop nearly so much. And Iden is one who kind of likes to pack as much as possible into a day. And this one, as you will see when we go through the itinerary, is going to be a much more relaxed. We're going to try to spend significant time at places rather than sort of getting there and then exploring it a little bit and then getting out. So I am looking forward to the experiment of a new type of experience, which is why I've kind of insisted wanting this to be a pilgrimage retreat. So,
That's great.
thank you. And Maria has been very, very much my right-hand person after that first year. And I deeply appreciated your being with us on those next couple of years, because you may not have realized how much you actually contributed to the spirit of the experience. So that was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joan, we go way back.
Yes, I'm Joan Kolakowski, and yes, that is, we go way back. He baptized my first child over 40 years ago. Friends of friends. I was particularly interested in this because our parish went to the Holy Land, Israel, 2.5 years ago, and it was a wonderful experience. So when I read about it in the tidings and saw the pictures, and especially the ecumenical aspect of it. So I called him, and I got a call back like that day, and that was the day that he got back, I think, from the trip in October. So I knew this enthusiasm must still be there, even if he just got off a plane from 2 weeks ago. So anyway, that is what I'm looking forward to very much.
So you actually found out about it from the article in the tidings about the priest's trip back in October.
Right, and the aspect of, I don't know how much you'll be discussing that about, just the ecumenical, the Muslim and the,
A fair amount.
Okay, great.
In fact, we will actually be experiencing something of the Protestant presence in Turkey, as well as maybe a little bit more of the Orthodox and very definitely the Muslim heritage. And we'll,
That's what
dabble in a few other things too.
Looking forward to that.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Joan. And Nathan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nathan Donahoe. I'm also in the RCIA program. Like Doug, I'm a sponsor, though. I'm not receiving any sacraments on Holy Saturday, but it's been still quite an experience just going through that. I've been to Father Tom's presentations on the pilgrimage for the past few summers and sort of got intrigued that way. And I know some of this stuff's thousands of years old, but I'm looking forward to sort of having this faith come to life in a way through this experience. So,
Good.
all right.
Thank you, Nathan.
You are welcome.
Stella. I won't make Jean Henri get up and talk. But, Jean Henri was Stella's support crew, when the Homeland support crew, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was not able to go on the trip. I was there last year with Father, and it was a very good experience for me. I also did not know very much about Turkey, and so I was really surprised, amazed at all of the culture. The people there were just wonderful. The places that we went to with Father were all different. They were all you just felt like you were in a holy place, experiencing some of the people that had lived there many years ago. It was a little bit difficult at times because it was a little bit more rushed than it's going to be for you. And I also expressed to Father that the time that you spent like in a retreat, would have been nice. But of course, at that time we weren't able to do that. So I think that you're going to have a good experience. And I just can't say enough about how I felt and how I still feel, and having the pictures that I took then and reliving the experience. So I know that you're going to have a great time.
Thank you. And Deborah, you are coming this year, first time?
I was taking a class at St. Monica's that Dr. Bill Creasy was teaching. And I began sitting towards the back of the group. And as I learned more about the beginnings of our Christian history through, I'll say Bill Creasy, his lectures, he's just wonderful as a professor and delivering lectures. And he started showing maps of Turkey and explaining the Holy Roman Empire. And he spoke about Asia Minor, and I thought, gee, I remember hearing about it years ago in high school. It sounds vaguely familiar, and he's bringing some of the little bit of awareness that I had of our Christian history, which I felt so limited on. And I feel like that's something that we can do better on for Catholics. And I'm glad that Joan mentioned the aspect of the interest in the ecumenism and being more aware of other religions and their culture. So I'm interested in learning more about Muslims and other religions. So I agree. So I started getting an interest in Turkey, and it was actually Bill that introduced me to Father Tom to make this trip, because I discussed my interest in making the trip, and it was more suitable to what I was interested in to travel with Father Tom than the trips that Bill Creasy actually plans. So I am very glad to be part of this group. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I did not, maybe you told me, but I wasn't aware. I recall you're talking about Bill Creasy and the St. Monica's program, but it's only about 3 months ago that I first met Bill Creasy. I watched his stuff. He has a wonderful website on Logos Bible Study, where he gives excellent lectures on every aspect of the Bible. And they can be a very good Bible study program. But our travel agency here, Executors, Karen Berry, whom I think most of you have had some contact with in the preparation, she is also his travel agent. And she's the one who actually arranged that Bill and I would have lunch. So it was nice finally to meet him, and
A very good connection.
a very good connection.
One we
Thank
hope
you.
to keep going.
I hope we will keep it going, yes. And Lucy.
Hello, I'm Lucy Fine. This will be my second pilgrimage. The first was in 1975, where I went with a marriage encounter group to Lourdes and Rome, and it was an absolutely incredible experience, unforgettable. So I'm looking forward to this pilgrimage very, very much. For me, visiting the house of our Blessed Mother, I think is all, I mean, it's like the first, way up there. It's like, I will not be able to, I can't imagine the feeling, just to be there, where she stood, where she walked, where she prayed. So that and well, the rest of the trip will be a bonus, but that is, to me, will be the best.
Now, there is a little more history here. Father Norm Supanchek, who can't be with us today but will be with us on the pilgrimage, was one of the priests on that marriage encounter pilgrimage to Rome,
Right.
way back when, in 1975.
Holy year.
Holy Year, and I was studying liturgy in Rome at that time.
Wow.
And I was palling around with the group that Norm and the others were leading. So it is very likely that we shared at least one dinner together.
And several tours, who knows?
And several tours, who knows?
Museums or,
So, and
Want to
this will
see
be
pictures.
this will be a big reunion for you and,
and Father
Norm. Also.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Looking forward to it. So
So,
just, I'm very
yeah.
excited about it.
And so it's going to be interesting. Okay, tell us about Carmen.
Carmen. Carmen and I have been, friends since we were in high school together, sophomore year. We went to Sacred Heart High School here in Lincoln Heights, and I am the godmother of her oldest child. We have been friends all these years. Our ups and downs in life have been just about the same, and we've been a very good support system for each other, a very good friend. And when Father needed one more person to make that, to get the minimum, I called Clotilde, and it's always been Clotilde, but Carmen, she goes by professionally, and it's much easier. Everybody knows her as Carmen in the professional world, so, and friends too, in Phoenix. She's from Phoenix, Arizona now, so she'll be with us, and she was, I said, Carmen, we need one more person. Can you make it? Can you make it? Can you do it? You can, and so, yes, she said, and so she'll be with us. She's in Arizona, so and can't be here today, but look forward to sharing that with her.
So Lucy is actually the one responsible for our
Trip.
being able to have enough to go. We needed that one more. And then Doug comes along as the frosting on the cake. So,
Good, thank you.
thank you. Just a little bit more about Father Norm Supanchek. He and I go way, way back because he is a classmate of mine. We were ordained the same year. We went through, I think both of us went through 12 years of the seminary together. And both having names in the very, very last part of the alphabet. We were always sitting close together in dining room and classes and all of that. So haven't always been, the closest of friends. We've lost contact here and there, but I think our relationship has always been a good and close one. And I'm really, really now looking forward to being able to welcome him. Norm will be the second priest who has made it on the pilgrimage. Father John Beckley from West Virginia came the last 2 years. So, and he contributed just a great deal to our experience, especially the last year where he was part of, I think, sharing the whole trip and whole experience with those who were the first time on last year's. Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm an architectural historian, and I've been teaching for over 20 years, and as part of my courses, I've taught early Christian and Byzantine architecture. And what
Boy, am I going to have a lot of questions for you.
Wow.
Believe me.
Not just you, I imagine.
Wow, are we lucky?
And what I'm excited about is learning more about the religious aspects, because obviously I know a thing or two about the architectural history part, but I'm excited about balancing that with the religious experience and the religious history, which is what I'm weaker on because my focus has obviously been on the architectural story. So.
Well, I am going to have a project for you.
Okay.
When we visit Hagia Sophia,
Okay.
I would like you to describe what the original interior liturgical settings may have been.
All right.
I don't know if you got that. I have tried. We might want to talk a little bit about that before, but I have very much tried to reconstruct in my mind, just exactly how that building might have functioned in its origins.
I actually had a Turkish architectural historian on my dissertation committee. So if I get stuck.
We can talk a little bit because I think it's a very interesting subject. And actually, I've come to the conclusion that if you want to know what Hagia Sophia may very well have felt like when it first, when it was first used, go to St. Mark's in Venice. It probably felt a lot like St. Mark's does now.
Okay.
We can maybe argue about that too.
I'm used to that too.
Okay, Alma.
Yes. I'm Alma Sexton, and I was a pilgrim in the year 2011. And I had been in Turkey 3 times before I went on the pilgrimage, and I thought I had seen Turkey. But when you have spent 28 days with Monsignor all over Turkey, you will know that there is just so much of that country in the antiquities, the history, the buildings, the people. It was a very, very good experience. And I know that at one time we were driving along the same road, well, ours was paved, that Mark, John, and Paul had walked in their sandals over 2,000 years before. And that was emotional for me because I sensed their presence. And just looking out the large windows and just thinking about what they may have been thinking or praying as they're walking along, that was a lovely experience. Had I not gone on the pilgrimage with Father, I would not have obviously experienced that. But there were so many other days. Every day was a very full day. He's right. One day we met the patriarch when we returned to Istanbul for the second time. We met the patriarch, the Greek Orthodox, and Father John, that was with us, presented him with a relic.
A relic.
Yeah, it was a relic.
Father John is a Marist priest, and one of their saints, Peter Chanel, I believe,
Yes.
was martyred in Micronesia or one of the South Sea island places. And so he happened to have a number of relics of the his own community saint. So he made that presentation of the relic to His All Holiness Patriarch Bartholomew
Right.
first.
Right.
And then last year we did manage to secure an audience with the patriarch.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully we will be able to this year. The audience is actually, I think I have it up on YouTube. We may be able to watch it if we have time. I don't know if we will be able to this year again. Obviously, his schedule and ours. He's very, very gracious, very welcoming, and very inviting. If he can't meet with us, Deacon Nifon, who was we priests were not able to meet with him in October because he was out of town. But he gave us a wonderful tour, the priests who were with us in October. So we do get to see kind of an insider's view of the headquarters for the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate, which is quite interesting, quite good.
We also were taken on a Friday to a mosque in Istanbul. And of course, being Christians, we had special permission and they took us up these little stairs and we were taken to the mezzanine, both men and women. Usually the women are the ones that sit in the mezzanine and the men have the floor. And I thought it was going to be maybe 10-15 minutes because it was Friday prayer. It turned out to be like 45 to 50 minutes. And I don't do well sitting on my knees or sitting on the floor. It's a hard floor. But it was an experience to see an actual mosque on a Friday day of prayer. So that was a good exposure. And then obviously meeting with the patriarch from the Greek Orthodox. And then Father said Mass in the most peculiar places, in a cave, in other locations that you wouldn't think of having Mass, but we did. It was lovely. And then we also were fortunate enough to go to very large churches in Istanbul, St. Anthony, I think it was. And we even had a lady from the audience. We had the front and it was blocked off from anyone else coming and mixing with our group. But at communion, this lady came from middle of the church and took communion. And it turned out that this lady was a Muslim lady, and she wanted to convert. So she took communion. So we welcome her. I mean, what can you do? Anyway, it's a wonderful experience. 28 days sounds like a lot. I'm accustomed to traveling.
It is a lot. It's actually 18.
No, we stayed the extra days.
That makes it 23.
Oh, why did I think 20?
That's okay.
We did,
She stayed on.
Ruth and I and another lady did a lot of shopping. We had to buy another suitcase so it wouldn't be so heavy, and came home. But it's a wonderful experience. I'm glad I went. I will go again. I'm not sure which year, but at this time I'm very involved with Rotary, and we're having our annual convention in Portugal that I have to attend because I'm an officer, so I can't do both. But I do plan on going on another pilgrimage. It's really well worth it. So,
By the way, the Rotary Club of Istanbul does have online a, I don't know if they've updated it. It's a little bit dated now, I think, but it is a kind of a video tour of, I don't know if it's just Istanbul. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'll have to go back to it. I'll send you all the link. But it's a video tour produced by the Rotary Club of Istanbul.
that'd be fabulous.
Of
Istanbul.
Of Istanbul. Well, it may be of Turkey. I don't remember if it has the whole of Turkey. Do you
I
recall?
thought it was just Istanbul.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't know. Is there anything else, Alma?
The food is delicious. And every hotel we went to was very nice. And we had good company. There were 18 of us, and we became a family. And we looked out for each other, and we helped each other. And one time I didn't have my scarf, and one of the ladies loaned me her scarf, took it off her head, because we were going into a church. And so, as I said, we were just a family. Not just, it was a lovely feeling. And some of us didn't know, we only knew it. Maybe Ruth and I had been friends before, but as the days go on and you experience and you see all these ruins and holy places, you become closer and closer. And I know you're going to enjoy it.
Hey, thank you.
You're
Alma.
welcome.
John Paul.
I'm John Paul, and I'm
Moving over there.
see.
You'll have to let those who are not here see who you are.
I'm John Paul, and I'm fairly new to the parish. Just moved here about maybe 2-3 months ago, and I found out about the trip from Father Tom. And being a singer, I have a lot of fans from the Muslim countries, so they tell me a lot about their culture. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in person. They seem like a very devout people who really love God. They even wish me like Merry Christmas and a Happy Easter. So they seem to like Christians a lot. And I'm especially looking forward to seeing the House of Mary and Ephesius and the Patriarch.
All right. Thank you, John Paul. Okay, one thing, I have a directory of all the pilgrims from out of the past that I try to keep as updated as possible and continue to send out the updated copies online to all the pilgrims. We would like to be able to do that with our new pilgrims also. So what I would like, I have all of your email addresses. If I'm assuming that that will be the okay email address, but I would also like to have your name, address, and phone number to then be able to have it. You know, I hope there's, out of the over 100 people who have made the pilgrimage, only one has ever objected to having the information shared among the pilgrims. And that one basically said absolutely nothing. So, you know, if you don't want to share your information, put it down there. But I think that nobody has gotten spammed because of our sharing of emails, and it does help us to be a community and to stay in touch with one another. So for those who are pilgrims of the past, I already got your info, but for those for this year, if you could give me name, address, phone number, and email, please.